it's Lisa, and I have a new page today. I'm going to be using this photo of my stepdaughter and her fellow teachers. It's actually going to be a Halloween themed page. The picture I don't think was taken on Halloween, but Jamie was telling me about a song that they did for their classes called the Monster Math. And the story behind it was one of the teachers did change the lyrics, and it was the Monster Math, and then the other teachers, one of them said, well, why not English or why not social studies? And because they each have their specialties. So I'm going to use this stencil with numbers to go with my Monster Math title, and use these pebbles, word bubbles, to put in some of the other words about English and social studies and that kind of thing. I don't have any Halloween themed papers. I just never do really Halloween layouts, but I do have some washi tapes that I think will work well with these colors, and I'm going to look and see what other papers I have that I can make work in the orange and black color scheme. For my mists, I've got an odd assortment of mists here. We'll see how these goes. This cameo color is the closest I have to the orange. My purple is an amethyst from Heidi Swapp that tends to come out pretty dark. And also that comes out really dark is dark calico from Mr. Huey. I don't have any black mist, but if you drop this on, it comes out really dark. So I think that will work just fine. So I'm going to do some spraying and some drops of mist. This is the sketch with the photo and a little bit of designer paper, and I thought the stars would always work well for a teacher themed page. They are not the right color though, so I'm going to have to do some remodeling on those to get them to look right with everything else. So first step is misting my background. I'm starting with the Studio Calico Cameo Mist, which I don't have very much left of. It's the orangiest color that I had, and then the amethyst. And oh good, it's coming out a nice purple color. Sometimes it's kind of dark, so that worked out nicely. Then the dark calico, and I find that if I use two hands for this and put the bottle lid against one finger, it will make little smaller drops. They still kind of go everywhere, but they're not big droplets. And I'm just going to carefully peel this stencil off, and that looks pretty good, except that I've got it pretty far up in the upper left hand corner. I really wish I'd brought it down a little bit, and that's the way the sketch shows. And I think I can fix this by putting some other paper back behind and trimming off some of the lower left hand corner. This particular paper is supposed to be a chocolate brown, but it's very, very dark grayish tone, and it really looks more like black, and I think it will go with what we have here. So I just need to trim off some out of the left side and the bottom, find my ruler, and looks like about a ½ inch. So I'll take that to the trimmer, trimmed it down, and I went ahead and glued the papers together. And for once I didn't cut out the back because I've had that black brownish paper in my stash a long time and I wanted to use it up. So I'm looking for some papers to mat the photos. That one orange was too light, and this next one looks pretty good, but I think I like the dark rustier color. I'm looking for a little more sophisticated color since these are adults. For Halloween, and they're not really dressed for Halloween. The photo was taken some other time, so I don't want it to look too much like Halloween. It looks like they look better on the orange or the rust paper, and then the purple behind, and for a mat down at the bottom where I can put my thickers. I really like those larger purple thickers. I do have some smaller ones if I need them, and I have these orange thickers that I bought recently, and I love these because they're very thin. They have kind of a corrugated look to them. So I need to put out my title and decide if I can use the larger ones. It looks like those are going to fit, laying kind of over top of the other paper, and I went ahead and painted the chipboard a light gray, just something that it would be easy to write on. I was going to put all the chipboard down at the bottom, but I think one of the pieces would look good up there with the photo. I can do them in sort of a 3 embellishment group or 2 embellishment group, and I kind of decided on the 2 embellishment group arrangement. I think I like the best. I'm just figuring out how far over that little border down at the bottom needs to go, so I can trim it off, and I will need some washi tape. I'd like to go around the edge of everything with some dark gray ink. Just do that right quick around all the pieces. That'll help them kind of set apart, and it really helps these chipboard pieces. I think it makes them look a lot, I don't know, more finished to have that distressing. And I'm probably going to cut that one off, but I haven't decided yet, so I'll just leave it for now. The stars are going to need some attention too, and we'll get to those in a few minutes. Now the washi tapes, I'm just down at the bottom I layered some of the orange washi tapes so that the word math would have something to lay on that wouldn't be purple. And up at the top I'm using that one bluish purple kind of washi tape and then adding some of the other oranges. I try one here and I don't like it, and I go for the striped one. I think the striped one looked better. It was a little more subtle. I just didn't get it quite straight the first time. Not unusual. Alright, and I've got a little more to the title. It's going to say, do the Monster Mash, or Monster Math, sorry, messing up my title there. And then what I'll write on the little pieces of chipboard is something about social studies and about science and about English, so they can do all of their subjects. I need to trim that one piece of chipboard off, and I'm using my Stampin' Up! Craft and Rubber scissors. You could use the Tim Holtz scissors, something that has a short blade and will handle those real thick pieces of chipboard. Now these stars, normally you can just peel the covering right off these things, but this one did not go well. Now the other star that I did off camera, it just peeled right off. So, but what I'm trying to do is just get that top red layer off so that I can cover these with Versamark and some embossing powder. I finally decided on copper embossing powder. This is an older product. I don't think this particular brand is available anymore, but this concept would work with silver or gold or whatever color that you wanted to use. Just add some Versamark, dip it in embossing powder, and heat it up. And often this will take multiple coats. I'm going to see what it looks like after one coat, because of course the nice thing is that you could change the color. You're not, with chipboard you can just keep going over it with paint and other things until you get what you like. So I wasn't really sure about these. I don't think they pop quite enough. What I decided to do was to give them another coat of the copper, and that really helped. That made them shine a little bit more. And I'm going to add some additional stars with the Studio Calico wood veneer pieces. And I'd like to have something else purple, and really the only thing I have are these stickers, and there is a couple of little, they're asterisks, kind of look like little flowers. I'm going to stick those in the middle of the stars to add a little bit more punch with the purple. And I thought, well, I might as well color my wood veneer. I do this all the time anyway. So I've got several purple markers. Test out the colors here and see which one looks the best. The first one's not quite the right shade. The second one is a violet color, and it's about the right shade. So just go over that. Sorry, my head's in the way. I just go over that with the marker. You'll still see the wood tone through it, but that really adds a lot of color. And I think I'll do some in orange as well. Okay, here's our completed page. We're taking a look at the sketch. We have the misting in the middle, and I did do a little cropping and adding the background, so I kind of have a border around the edge here. I have my photo up in the upper right-hand corner, and the title down here. I didn't put any journaling on the page. I kind of let these be my journaling, but my stepdaughter has some room down here if she wants to write something in, because this page will go to her album. So let's take a look at some close-ups. And what I did for the rest of the embellishment was I used those little asterisks, and then I added some of the dots that are like the periods or dots for eyes to also add a little bit more of the purple onto the page, as well as coloring the stars in. Okay. So that's a Halloween page without really any Halloween product. And I think it has a little more sophisticated look. It's not a kid's Halloween page since it's not about children and they're not dressed for Halloween because this picture wasn't specifically taken on Halloween, but it still kind of goes along with that idea. And I do need to put the date on here somewhere or have her put the date in, so I'll probably just use my little date stamp. I'll have to look and see what the date was that photo was taken and put my date stamp in, maybe down here in this lower left-hand corner. Anyway, thanks for joining me today.